How about those Flyers?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I know a lot of people out there had off today. Hopefully you didn't watch the Flyers games. The Flyers have been playing some really good hockey, and
until today.
I was gonna say until today. But today was like a measuring stick, and they came up a little small. They were they were in the pool. You know what I'm saying? They didn't.
It's funny because this morning we're talking. They're like, yeah, they're playing really good. I'm like, they're playing really good. Yeah, you're like, if they show us something against Boston, could be serious.
Yeah,
6-0. That's that.
That was pretty much like
you thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember what Denny Green said? They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, they are who we thought they were. Exactly.
But yeah, we're going to get into a lot. I mean, we got until today a red hot hockey team. Sixers basketball. Sixers are playing some really good ball. They're practically right in the two. I mean, they're right pretty much in the 2 seed. I mean, they're right there, stacked up with Nets, Milwaukee, Cleveland. I mean, they're right there. But you got Boston. Boston's a little bit ahead of everybody, and then these rest of these teams are right there. And Tyrese Maxey volunteered to come off the bench. So I mean, props to Maxey, because Maxey's a real team guy, and he came in, was like a super 6-man. You know what I mean?
Props for him seeing that, and I feel like you see that a lot written online and stuff. And these players see what's written online. And they can analyze, they can see stats of what it is when you're on the court defensively and not. So I think he's a smart player like that. He's a team player like that.
That's damn right.
Yeah, and then of course, so we'll get into that. And then of course, I mean, it's NFL playoff season. I mean, so we're gonna do a lot of NFL playoff talk. The Eagles have their opponent. We got the Giants coming here Saturday night. The lake will be nice and liquored up, all day of drinking until an 8:15 game.
Oh, so yeah.
That place should be rocking. And, so let's, and some interesting games this weekend. So we're going to get into it. I got my usual cast here. I got my man Sean to my left, Sean Kilrain, Diego the Hammer Bianchi. He's up top.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Let's go.
And then I got my man Euro Paul on the bottom. What's up, Paul? How you doing, brother?
All right, man. What's up?
Chilling. Yeah, man. So let's get into some thoughts here on this playoff weekend. What was your impressions? Because I'll tell you mine. I mean, San Francisco started off. Seattle was in that game a little bit, but my impression was 49ers are just no joke. That's number one. Brock Purdy, I keep waiting for him to mess up. He keeps playing well. Yeah. And the Giants, my other impression was the Giants are not going to be an easy game. I mean, they looked really good. Paul, I'll start with you, man. What was your impressions of this weekend?
Yeah, I was looking for any upsets, and then the Miami Buffalo game came down to the wire. It was like I thought Buffalo was gonna be knocked out, and then they held on. And then the Seattle game, we knew we were going back and forth with it, and I'm like, wow, Seattle is hanging with them, man. Could it be upset? No, of course not. Mm-hmm. The only upset was yesterday with the Giants. So, but yeah, Giants played well. Yeah, I mean, well, that and
Who do you think stood out most in that game?
Kirk Cousins threw the ball where it wasn't supposed to be because he needed a couple yards and he flew it short. His typical Kirk Cousins kind of thing. But yeah, man, looking for some upsets, and the only one was the Giants.
And I don't even think that was much of an upset. I feel like a lot of people were actually picking the Giants.
Yeah.
Only 3 at home, though. To me, that's kind of like an even line. That's kind of just like you're getting that 3 because you're home, really. So
yeah, I was going more by the seeding, 7 seed to 3rd seed.
I was surprised. I was actually saying to Joe, I'm like, everybody keeps before the game was even played. I'm like, everybody keeps picking the Giants, and I felt like it could be a game where the higher seed shows they were the higher seed. They obviously did it, but
how about that Jacksonville game, man? You just totally forget about Trevor Lawrence's 4 INTs, and he just Dougie P brings them back.
I would say a little Dougie P magic in that.
Yeah,
everything the dude does just ends up positive.
Well, yeah, and also friggin', the Chargers are idiots for playing a player that has a fractured back now. That made a difference in that game too.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Chargers coach was even allowed on the plane. Got a couple comments here. Mike Fuji says the Bills got a scare. Yeah. Yes, they did. That game surprised me. Pat Bernard, he's got a comment here. He says, "If you're a Chargers fan, how you feeling today?" Not
like you ain't a Chargers fan anymore.
Charger fan or a Viking fan at this point. I mean, how about not put a Viking fans at this point?
That's just a tough loss. I would be hurt, but I'm a Chargers fan. Yeah. That's in the bag. That's some New England. That's some New England Atlanta shit.
Just like Paul said, do you think they fire Staley because of poor time management and also starting Mike Williams in a game where you obviously want to sit your key players? You see that?
I would.
I mean that's kind of like the hot rumor is that he's going to be gone. I mean, but Diego, you brought up a good point today though. Like, we could blame it on Staley and obviously he should be on a flame broiled seat. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like a Burger King Whopper, but
them players got to get it done.
Right. Yeah. And the bottom line, and like Mike Fuji right here, he says the Chargers always find a way to choke. And, our FedEx guy, that's the Chargers fan. I mean, that's what he says all the time. They always choke, but
the Jags defense is pretty good. I mean, they held Eckler in check other than the 2 short touchdowns he had.
It's hard to blame
no ground yards at all, hardly.
I mean, I would get rid of him because of the Mike Williams and him playing his starters too late in that last week. Because you got Mike Williams, they probably maybe put him on a touchdown or put some more drives together with him out there to kill more clock, and maybe Jacksonville never has.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big target. I mean, you lose that big size, and then you focus on Keenan Allen. Now you only have Keenan Allen, not 2 studs on the sides.
But at the end of the day, the head coach, whoever's at the end of the day, whoever's calling the plays, which I would imagine it is the dude Staley, right? He calls the plays?
No, he's defensive coordinator.
Yeah. All right. Well, whoever calls the plays and the offense spotted the defense 30 points. So you should be able to win that game as a defense and knock you up 31 points and a half.
Well, not for anything, because you can't. I guess you can't kill Herbert too much because they did score 30 points. But bro, I got to be honest, man. If that's Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen or Burrow, I mean, I think Justin Herbert is a great young quarterback. I'm not trying to say he's not, and he's a great talent. But keeping it real though, you got to find a way to maybe not. Yeah, I mean, it's 30 points should be enough to win, but you should be able to get a couple first downs and ice that.
I mean, you're Chargers. Like, what do you need? I mean, they have good players on defense. They have a solid offense. Like, what's
do you think they need more line help? Think.
Yeah, maybe line. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I can see because you brought up.
Oh yeah, kicker. Yeah, the kicker missed 2 field goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike Laura, the kicker missed 2 field goals, and then Pat Bernard. We'll get into this when we talk about the Eagles. Giants fans smelling themselves. You know what though? I can't.
They play good, dude.
I was gonna say, and I can't blame them. I mean, honestly, they haven't won a playoff game in 11 years. This was their first playoff. This was their first playoff win since they beat New England in the Super Bowl.
Honestly, if I'm a Giants fan, I feel pretty good going into this week.
Oh yeah,
I feel like Daniel Jones just played his best game. He's probably got some momentum going into this game. If I'm a Giants, I'm feeling good being the 6th seed, winning on the road already, and then going to somewhere in Philly where I always play. Yeah, it's not like it's not even really a road game. I'm going right on 95, 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Danny Jones looked determined, man, with those 4th downs and those getting the first downs. I mean, man, he got his head blocked off by Kendricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got Barkley doing Barkley things,
Yeah.
and you got that dude Isaiah Hodgins out of nowhere.
How about that dude?
He's making a name for himself.
That dude
Yeah,
came
he has
out
some
of
great catches in
nowhere,
that game.
man.
He has some good catches in that game.
Yeah, we got Maurice Wright. He says, "What's up,
What's up,
guys? Good seeing you all. Hey, I bet your bet is as good as mine. The playoffs are shaping out really close to the oddsmen's. Eagles got to own home. Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Ken Fry talking about the I guess this is the Chargers line. Their line is soft. You could check Ken Fry out on the Out of Box Network. He does a great show on Saturday nights, Raider show. Him and this guy Rob Hefner. They do really good stuff. Maurice Wright again. That kid Dicker is clutch as hell. Those misses were probably told him to miss. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Diego, I smell a bet cooking. Okay. What I don't know.
What's the bet?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Who knows? Come on, Mike, tell him.
Yeah,
I'm
Mike, tell
not
us the
saying
bet.
the Giants are going to beat the Eagles. I wasn't saying that.
No,
I think we'll smash the Giants. I'm just saying, if I'm a Giants fan, I feel pretty good going into the game.
Yeah, I told Joe today it'd be 31-27.
Oh, yeah?
That's I think something like 31-10, 31-17. I think we get on them quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, my other impression about that Giants game was, offensively they were moving the ball, but let's keep it real. The Vikings moved the ball just about every time they had.
Yeah, their defense didn't have no sacks or anything. Corners played okay, but yeah, they didn't have any turnovers or nothing either. So,
Ken Fry, any idea why Bosa was on the sideline on that final drive? Well, I mean, it could have been because he had that costly penalty. Remember?
Yeah, he took his helmet off.
Because of the throwing the helmet, unsportsmanlike. Yeah.
Mike Fuji, Diego, I thought you said you were a Giants fan. My bad.
Yeah, okay.
Diego hates the Giants. The Giants. No, but all right. So, and how about that Miami? How about that Bills game? I mean, I'll tell you, Miami's clock management. I mean, he made Andy Reid look like he was the greatest clock manager in the history of the National Football League. I mean, that dude. Now, granted, I know they did have a third string quarterback, and maybe that played into it. But like Diego, like you said earlier today at work, like how the hell do you not have your 4th and 1 play called already? Like that was ridiculous.
Had a call.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's having to they made the playoffs. He had one successful challenge all year, and that was the last game of the season. Like he lost on all successful all challenges. Yeah, I don't know how long he lasts there.
Yeah, I think he's one of.
I didn't know that.
I think he's one of those quote unquote young, up and comer type names. But to me, the moment was big for him because I'll tell you, I was not impressed by the Bills at all yesterday. I mean, they
didn't look like
they were lucky. If Miami had any, I know that kid played okay for a third string quarterback, but if Miami had any semblance of better quarterback play, they win that football game.
Yeah, if they had two at Monster, they win that game.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you something, Paul. Is Devin Singletary? I didn't really see him that much. They focused more on James Cook. Is he hurt or?
I don't know. I think they like Cook a lot. I think he's been outplaying Singletary. To tell you the truth,
James Cook's a little more explosive.
Yeah.
Singletary, I feel like.
Well, Singletary had the biggest run in the game though, because at that last drive, he was the one that got that first down.
Okay, I was at the gym.
He was. I mean, he overpowered those dudes. He carried 4 Dolphins. In fact.
Well, that's why I feel like they like him in a situation like that, like the hard, tough running, Singletary, and they like James Cook the ball in space.
Yeah, Maurice Wright says that's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised if the Eagles run up a tab on these Giants early and make them pay for it severely. Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, here's the thing, the Giants offense looked good yesterday, and Daniel Jones' mobility scares me a little bit. But our D line should eat. I mean, our D line ate the first time we played them, and 7
sacks.
And even last game, I mean, you saw that kid Davis Webb out. I mean, he was just Hassan Reddick could have had about five sacks, but Webb just kept getting rid of the ball.
Well, now you got to put in the factor. Now we got Sweat back, so we got that whole revolving front back. C.J. Gardner's back. I mean. I think they're just going to punch them right in their mouth. I mean,
Yeah.
what we've seen season finale game, we're going to see a lot of fireworks. I'm just hoping we get the Daniel Jones early rather than later.
Dave Yarnell checking in. Hey, Dave, how you doing? You can check.
What's up, Dave?
What's up, Dave?
You could check Dave out on the Out of Box Network. He's on the 215 boys, and actually, that's something I wanted to get into because we're talking about games that already happened. How about the game that's happening tonight? We got Dallas and Tampa Bay. What's your guys' thoughts on this game tonight? And Dave, you could chime in too. How confident are you as a Cowboys fan? How confident are you?
I feel like it's a hard.
What do you think about this game tonight? I'll start. I'll go around the horn. What do you think?
Well, I'm not saying this because I hate Dallas. I'm a realist. I'll admit if I think Dallas is going to win. I just think it's on home field. Brady owns the Cowboys and is 7-0 all time against them. Dak's coming in. Dallas is coming in, not playing well. Dak, throwing all these interceptions.
Yeah.
I think Tampa Bay wins this.
Okay. All right. Diego, what's your thoughts, bro?
I was gonna say it's hard to get a feel for this game.
I know.
feel like
I'm right there with you.
1 minute I'm like, I like Dallas. The next minute I'm like, Dallas ain't playing good football. I think Tampa Bay gets them on their home field. But right now, I kind of give the edge of Dallas. I think they're a little faster on defense, a little better offensively. They have a couple more weapons that are playing better than Tampa Bay's weapons.
Okay.
Right. You also got to keep in mind too. Michael Parsons has that injury in his hand. He's wearing a club.
Yeah.
He has had a sack in like
Has that
3 or
on?
4 weeks.
Okay.
You're right. He hasn't been the same.
Wow, you're right. Yeah, he has.
What do you think?
I'm right there with Diego, man. I think it's going to, and Fuji, I think it's going to be a close game. It'll probably come down to a field goal.
So who you
If it's a close game and if Brady has the ball with 2 minutes left, you gotta like Brady's chances.
Dallas, because Dallas's running game's a little bit better. Fournette, where's he been? He's been a lost cause.
Well, Tampa hasn't been able to run the ball all year. Now the encouraging thing for Tampa is they got Ryan Jensen's back for this game, and that is huge. That's huge for Brady. I'll tell you, I'm flip-flopping. I've been a flip-flopping MFer about this game. I'll tell you, because at first, a few weeks back, I was like, man, the Cowboys are going to go there and smoke them. Then I started thinking about it. I looked at this Cowboys record on grass, and last week I'm like, man, I kind of like Tampa. And then I'm sleeping on it last night. I'm like, damn. I'm like, Dallas is going to win this game. So you know what? So I got to make a gut prediction, and I'm going to say Tampa like 27-24 on like a last minute field goal, and that's going to be because of Brady, I think. And the other thing is too, the last time Tampa played the whole game, Brady and Evans started getting something going.
Yeah,
and Dallas's secondary, has really struggled late in this game. I mean, late in this year. You know what I mean? So I'm going to say I'm going to go with Tampa, but I could. It's a coin flip, honestly. And here's my man Paul Spencer. What's up, boy? Hey, Paul, how you doing, brother? Yeah. So you can check Paul out on the 215 boys. I want to know, Paul. Let me get some other comments, and I want to get Paul's thoughts on this game. I got Maurice Wright. He says, I guess about the Eagles. He said, I focus on the play of Reddick against many quarterbacks this season. He's relentless. He really gets on a quarterback's nerves. Jones can run it. He'll probably have to, and that's good for the DBs. Mike Lauro has 13-10 bucks. I don't see. I think it's going to be more high scoring than that. But yeah, I mean, he's got the Bucks.
28-24.
Yeah, let's see here.
I think it's like 24-21 Dallas in a similar scenario that Joe says. They get the ball last, go down to game, win a field goal.
Maurice Wright's talking about Micah Parsons. He says, I remember watching several Hall of Famers play with casts and totally blasted people with it. These guys are playing soft nowadays in the NFL. Paul Spencer says Dallas has to go back to the Cooper Rush playbook, run, play action. The one thing though, I haven't looked at Tampa's run defense numbers this year, but usually with that guy what's his name, Vita Vea. I know the last few years they've been really tough against the run. Mike Fuji says Brady, Godwin, and Mike Evans has been getting that mojo back. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. And then we got Dave Yarnell here. He goes, "Hey guys, I have boys 28, Tampa 17. Micah is ready to go. Thank you, Dave." Ken Fry, he goes 31-27 Dallas. And let's see here, Tampa Bay against the run. Now they're only 15th against the run this year, so they've actually kind of gone back a little bit. I know
still middle of the pack.
Yeah, 15 is still a pretty good run defense, I feel like.
Yeah, it's not bad. They give up about 120.7 yards rushing a game.
That's a lot.
Yeah, well, Dallas gives up 129. They're 22nd, but Tampa can't run for shit. Dallas is 8th against the pass, but I think that's gone down the last few weeks. I mean, earlier in the year, losing Anthony Toast. Well, I used to call him Anthony Toast Brown, but Paul Spencer and Dave would probably kill to have Anthony Brown right now because they got some guy playing corner. I mentioned on Paul's show, I was calling him Castaway because that dude was on an island by himself, bro. Like he was like Tom Hanks writing notes on soccer balls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude sucks. So Mike Evans might have a field day against his ass. You know what I'm saying? So all right, well that's tonight's game. And then any other things stick out to you about this weekend before we move on? Like how about the Cincinnati game? Boy, they almost blew that.
Yeah, Baltimore played them tough.
That dude, Sam Hubbard, man, would have played with that 98-yard to the house.
It was such a weird play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go. Paul Spencer, Cowboys 32, Bucks 28. If I cash out, it's 344. If I let it ride, 734. F. Kevin Joseph, Castaway ass. DG, thanks for checking us out. He says Dallas will not be Brady's last playoff game. Yeah, I could see that. Although I don't know. Do you guys really think? I mean, Brady doesn't have Giselle anymore, so I think Brady's going to play somewhere next year.
I just read that this could be the last year as a Buck. He said he's intrigued about going to play with Josh McDaniels.
Really? I heard something about San Fran. Wow. Raiders need a quarterback now. So really.
Yeah, Mike Loro says
that's interesting.
Mike was he asking for impressions? He said Miami playing Buffalo tough. Yeah, that got me because I took Buffalo yesterday.
And the game started like it was going to be a blowout.
Steve McGravy Jr. Hey Steve, how you doing?
Steve?
Thanks for checking us out. Ken Fry, what do you guys think about? Oh yeah, what do you think about J.K. Dobbins putting the Ravens on blast for not giving him the ball?
You know what?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching that game. Like they should run a lot. They should kept on running. J.K. Dobbins had like some nice runs.
Yeah.
They instead of having Huntley throw the ball.
I think he's also frustrated. He wants the ball more. Coming back from what injury did he have? A knee injury?
Yeah, like he has scar tissue removed from his surgeries, and that helped him out better. Yeah.
But like you said earlier, Paul, the way he was coming back from that, dude, he was running, averaging a lot of good yardage.
Yeah, quite a few 10-yard runs too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I'd be pissed too. You're supposed to be the go-to back, and it's like they pissed on you, and you didn't let them down; they let you down.
Yeah, and I agree with Maurice right here as far as especially the Eagles game plan because the Eagles. The first matchup, we ran all over the Giants. I think Miles Sanders rushed for 200 yards.
Yes, he did.
So he says here, we saw a lot of good throwing this past weekend. Yes, but the theme is and always will be run the football. Well, that's definitely for this week in particular. Here we go. Paul Spencer says Dougie. Oh yeah, here's Paul Spencer's impressions. He says Dougie P iced his own kicker with 5 seconds left. Then the Chargers coach double iced him. Thank God he made it. Yeah. You don't usually see a coach icing his own kicker. Mike Lauro says Gus Edwards has taken a lot of JK's rushes.
Yeah.
As all I know is that my brother-in-law is a big Ravens fan, and he was saying J.K. Dobbins has been like elite the last 5-6 weeks. Like J.K. Dobbins has been like unreal.
Yeah,
he's killing it.
I mean, I was talking to a Ravens fan I was talking to a Ravens fan over the weekend at my uncle's birthday party. Big Ravens fan from Baltimore, and he was saying the problem with the Baltimore Ravens is the system. Like their system has been the same.
That's what it seems like.
Because I was like, I was saying I wouldn't sign Lamar Jackson. And he's like, Lamar Jackson isn't the problem in his opinion. His opinion is they have no wide receivers. You know what I mean? No wide receivers to like playmakers. Like we got A.J. Brown. Look what that's done to Jalen Hurts. And that John Harbaugh system and game plan is always the same.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it'll never change, basically. Yeah.
So until you get rid of John Harbaugh, or you don't get rid of like what I feel like most Ravens fans probably think is the problem, because they watched a couple years ago Lamar Jackson have an MVP season.
Yeah. How about this for a day? DG says Sunday. I think they play Saturday, but regardless, Reed versus Peterson this weekend. Jags' only chance is if Lawrence plays like second half of all game. And is that game Sunday or Saturday? I forget. I think it's before the Eagles game, but I could be wrong because I think Buffalo and Cincinnati is Sunday. But
so they're not gonna have any one seeds on Sunday.
Saturday 4:30.
All right, so
Saturday 4:30.
How is this for a day of football, guys? We got Andy Reid versus Doug Peterson Saturday at 4:30 and Eagles Giants at 8:15.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Sunday you got Cincinnati Buffalo, and I don't care what anybody says. The divisional round is the best. It's the best weekend of football by far because you got Cincinnati Buffalo, then you got Dallas. Well, either Dallas or Tampa Bay versus San Francisco. Let's just say it's Dallas, San Francisco. What a friggin' weekend.
Yeah, what a rivalry.
You know what I mean? Here's another impression for this week. Paul Spencer says, my buddy is a Seahawks fan. Has Geno done enough to get 3-4 year deal with so much draft equity to build around him for the next 2 to 3 years from the Wilson trade? I think so. I thought Geno Smith played really well this weekend.
I was watching something on ESPN, and they showed highlights, and even Hasselbeck. Dude, he throws a damn good deep ball.
Yeah.
Even from West Virginia when he played till now. I think he's deserved it, even though you want that. You had Russell, that star status player. He earned it. I would give it to him. And then build around the team, whether it be wide receivers. You already got a good running back. What are your thoughts on that, Kenneth Walker?
He's a stud. Kenneth Walker's a stud. I'll tell you what. I mean, Seattle, you could see they were outclassed on Saturday, but they got a bright-ass future. I mean, they got a lot of draft picks, and they have some young players on defense, like what the hell Moose Johnson was talking about Saturday. Like they got some young guys on that defense that are going to get better and better. I could see Seattle like taking a like, especially with that high pick. You could see them taking a nice leap next year.
Stephon Diggs' brothers. I'm pretty sure Stephon Diggs' brothers on that defense. He's pretty good.
Yeah, they got that young corner. What the hell's his name?
Tariq Wooten.
Yeah, that's it. Tariq Wooten. I mean,
he's good. Man.
I was gonna say he's not quite like Sauce Gardner, but I mean he's right. I mean he's right up there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Maurice will tell you.
I have him on my dynasty. He has 6 interceptions this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maurice right here. He says Baltimore draft a good quarterback.
He was a 5th round pick too.
What's that?
5th round pick.
Yeah. Because me and my buddy were talking, who just was on. He was hoping the Eagles would get him because it was around that time, and I think we drafted a corner, but not Wooten, where they jumped in front of us.
Well,
whatever the case may be.
How is it that Seattle always can find these secondary guys? Like Richard Sherman was like a late pick too. I think Richard Sherman was like a 4th or 5th round pick.
I think it just goes down to
system
and just breaking down film and the guys
Quandre Diggs
getting how to get them.
Quandre Diggs. Yeah, they got him from a few years ago from Detroit, I think. I think he was with Detroit, and Seattle went out and got him. And yeah, he's a good football player. That's going to be a good team, man. In fact, and of course, San Francisco. San Francisco ain't going nowhere. San Francisco might be the best team in football right now. I mean, they're at least playing the best.
Kittle's playing like a man on fire, man.
How about McCaffrey? Did you see some of those runs McCaffrey had? I mean, he's
relentless.
Debo,
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And Ayuk is the unsung guy. Everybody
Yeah.
talks about Debo, but Ayuk had like 1,000 yards receiving too.
Yeah.
And you stop and think about it, how impressive is that with how their quarterback situation was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So what do you do if you're San Fran? You go back to Trey Lance next year? Josh Purdy goes to the Super Bowl or whatever his dude's name is. Purdy goes to the Super Bowl.
Right.
What do you do?
Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy.
If he keeps playing like this, how the hell do you sit him if he's playing like this? That kid's playing good football.
So you get rid of
You invested a high pick for Trey Lance.
You keep Lance.
Maybe trade him, get something for him.
But here's my thing, guys. Would you keep Purdy and Lance, or Purdy? And
Lance ain't gonna want to be a bench though.
No, I'm going. All right, if I'm San Fran, they don't win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. They don't win it. I'm going back to Trey Lance. If Trey Lance shows me he can't play, I know Brock Purdy can. And I didn't waste a high draft pick on Brock Purdy. I have to find out if Trey Lance can play.
True. What do you do with Jimmy G, though? I'm saying.
Well, Jimmy G's gone.
Jimmy G's gone. Yeah.
Jimmy G quarterback openings anyway. So
I mean, if Tom Brady doesn't go to the Raiders, I mean, have you ever seen a more perfect marriage? Jimmy G goes to the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Josh McDaniel out there already. I mean, to me, I could be wrong, but to me, it seems like it's already set up. That seems like, and then they have Stidham as the backup. So basically, it's New England West out there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. As a quasi.
If I'm the Raiders, I'm not looking to get Jimmy Garoppolo.
No,
I don't care if McDaniels is there or not. If I'm the Raiders, I'm looking for a young quarterback. I'm drafting a guy or something.
Well, I think Jimmy G. I mean, Jimmy G has a ceiling. You're only going to go so far with Jimmy G.
But I feel you're going to win enough games with Jimmy G where you're not picking that high.
Well, maybe the Raiders do. Maybe the Raiders do. I mean, the Raiders can have the 7th pick. Maybe they draft a young guy and they bring Jimmy G in.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, I can see that's a good point.
Hang on one second. Paul Spencer says, got to ride with Purdy. Yes, high pick on Lance, but it really panned out with his injury. They didn't lose. They really didn't lose anything. Now it's just adding depth with the Niners. They are stacked. They are stacked.
I'm looking to trade. I'm looking to trade Trey Lance then. While he still has a little bit of value.
Yeah, Ken Fry says Jimmy G is made out of styrofoam. Raiders O-line will get him killed. Maurice Wright, Jimmy G is probably gone. Purdy has shown he could be a cheap starter. We'll see. Purdy probably gets the 2nd string next year. Yeah, well, I see the problem is the Niners, like you guys said, the Niners gave up a ton for Trey Lance. I mean, they gave up like 2 first-round picks. I think they gave up a few other picks. And if they tried to sell Trey Lance right now, they'd be selling on pennies on the dollar. They wouldn't get what they paid. You know what I'm saying? So
you're right.
You lose out. Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to see if he can play.
Well, hopefully the Niners lose next week because I would like to avoid them. But if they come to Philadelphia, hopefully they get smoked by the Eagles and they don't win that Super Bowl. And then maybe they go in the training camp next year and they see what Trey Lance could do and they have Purdy there too, like you guys said,
Right.
How do you feel if it's Eagles Tampa Bay for the NFC Championship? What do you think?
I love the Eagles.
I love the Eagles.
That'd be deja vu for Dave.
It's a Brady revenge game because he knocked us out last year.
Yeah.
I love the Eagles. And I'll tell you what, I mean, we could sit here and say, well, it's Tom Brady, he's the GOAT. And that does scare you a little bit. But you know what though? We're the number 1 seed and we're 14-3. I mean, if we're not good enough to beat an 8-9 Tampa Bay team at home at the Link in January, then we don't deserve the Super Bowl. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that simple.
That would be interesting.
Here we go. Paul Spencer says, I agree, Diego, trade Lance. He's an RPO quarterback, possibly Baltimore if Jackson walks. Wow, you know what? That's interesting. That's interesting because, he
fits the scheme.
I mean, he fits the scheme. All right, so say Baltimore gets 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Maybe they trade 1 first-round pick for Trey Lance, and then they go with an athletic quarterback on a rookie deal.
Who trades 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson?
What's that?
Who trades 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson?
I think somebody might.
Jets.
The Jets.
Houston.
Jets.
Houston.
The
Houston.
Jets.
You know what?
Houston Jets.
No, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100 right now. You put Lamar Jackson on the Jets with that defense and those weapons.
Yeah,
That's a Super Bowl contender right there.
But Paul,
You're
that's
probably
That's a
right.
Super Bowl contender.
Houston Texans got a lot. That's another thing too.
Texans are taking a quarterback out too.
Because what do they have? David Mills? Yeah.
I think they take a quarterback
Yeah,
out too.
Davis Mills,
whether
yeah.
Yeah, David Mills, yeah. Lamar all day.
You know what though? It's kind of an interesting dilemma. See, it's kind of a dilemma though, because if you're the Texans, would you rather take a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young and have that guy on the rookie contract for 4 years where you could build around the team, or do you want to go get Lamar Jackson, who's going to cost you $40-45 million a year?
I think the Jets are ready to win. Like you just said, they got a whole bunch of stars and they got a whole bunch of good players on both sides of the ball. So that trade makes sense for them. For the Texans, it doesn't make much sense because you're not going to be ready to win when you mortgage your future to get Lamar Jackson. I feel like they're better off. They're better off drafting a QB and then using the picks they got from here for the next couple of years and just building around him.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's not going to want to go to a rebuilding team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mike.
Especially Brandon Cooks went out too. He went the best receiver on
he
that
said,
team.
whoever's the coach, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not, yeah.
Mike Fuji says he believes Lamar Jackson's undrafted. Yeah, but they'll franchise him. Baltimore's not letting him leave without getting compensation. There's no way.
Right.
Paul Spencer, I'm hearing. Yeah, I want to get into this real quick. I'm hearing DeMar Hamlin is an honorable captain this week with the coin toss versus Bengals. Well, that's great. It's like good to see him back to. He's doing so well. You know.
Do you think his career is over, or do you think he's going to be coming back again?
I think they're going to just monitor him big time because of after the situation he had. Dude, he died 2 times. I mean, coded out. I mean, it just depends. That's going to be pretty damn hard, to get medical clearance. Yeah. Even though he was playing good, but it's an unfortunate event what happened to him. Yeah. So I would. It's a wait and see for me. What do you think?
It happened to Chris Pronger in '98. He played for a while, so
apparently there's some
healthy
making some kind of special thing now that protects that area too.
Yeah, softball players and baseball players, like my daughter has it. It's like a mesh for the chest. It's like a chest protector.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like you said, Paul, going to implement it with some players, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Let's get divisional game. We already did. Did we do the Eagles yet? Did we predict the Eagles? All right.
No.
Let's do our predictions and then we'll move on. So next week, all right. Well, it's hard to say because we don't know who's going to win between Dallas and Tampa Bay. So, all right, the winner. Let's just go winner of Tampa Bay, Dallas at San Francisco. Do you think anybody can knock off the 49ers right now?
If it's any of them, I think it's if anyone could out of them 2 teams beat San Fran, I think it's Dallas because at least they have a lot. Them big time weapons and like Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, like guys who can like blow the roof off a defense sometimes. So I don't see Tampa Bay going to San Fran and beating that defense. Tom Brady can't move.
All right, so
I'm more in agreement with him too. Yeah, if anybody, Dallas would probably have the best chance.
Okay, all right. So let's just say you guys, but let's just for the sake of the prediction. Who went? Does San Fran go in the championship game? Is just my question.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
I think so too. Although I'm in agreement with you guys. I think Dallas could possibly do it because if you get Dak on his best day, and Dallas does have a good defense, and Dallas forced a lot of turnovers, so maybe Brock Purdy turns the football over a couple times. I could see that scenario. What do you think?
Dallas, San Fran all day.
Okay. I'm going to say San Fran just because I feel like they are playing unbelievable football. So I'm going to say San Fran. All right, so let's go Cincinnati, Buffalo.
Boy.
See that one right there is hard because if after what last night we saw with Cincinnati, Ravens, Bills, Dolphins, man.
Frank Quills. Hey, Frank, thanks for checking us out, man. He says 49ers to the Super Bowl. No question. Mike Fuji says 49ers to the championship game. Maurice Wright says Tom Brady can make defenses move.
Sometimes he hasn't this year.
Then Paul Spencer says, damn it, crazy. Dallas wins tonight. It's 3 either rivals either way. Eagles, Giants, and Niners of the 90s. Yeah, that's true. It's almost like we're taking a hot tub time machine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the old school show up in here. I did the old school show Friday night. Now I feel like I'm doing the old school show again, talking about football. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Back to the Bills in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati, just the way.
Yeah.
You know, the edge with the wide receivers, if you guys agree with me. Higgins and Jamar Chase. I mean, and just the way the defense is playing and the way Burrows is playing.
Mixon's playing well, too.
Exactly, yeah. And Perrine, yeah. I would have to say Cincinnati. Yeah.
Well, you know,
I'm going Buffalo. I think Buffalo is gonna beat Cincinnati.
Paul, what do you think?
I don't know. Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Buffalo gave up their 31 points to a third string quarterback team. I know they had Tyreek and Waddle and all, but I don't know. I see Cincinnati eking it out again. I think it's going to be close, but I think they eke it out.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo strictly because of home field advantage, and Cincinnati's offensive line is so banged up that I think that's going to be the major factor. But Josh Allen makes me nervous because, I mean, he's a hell of a quarterback, but he's really missed Dable. I mean, Josh Allen's been turning the football over a lot. Losing Brian Dable's really hurt Allen. All right, let's go. Jaguars, Chiefs.
Blowout. Chiefs blowout,
man.
Yeah. Do you see now?
Well, Jaguars have a decent defense.
I see a close game.
I'm not seeing a blowout.
They got Mahomes. Mahomes like a magician out there. So
yeah.
Like you said earlier, Joe, they get a 30-point lead on any of them quarterbacks. Then Jaguars don't win that game. So I think they get on them, same as that way Herbert did, but they don't relinquish a 30-point lead.
I want to see a good game. I think it's going to be close. Kansas City pulls it out because Mahomes is the magician.
Yeah, I actually think you're going to see a better. Trevor Lawrence had early game jitters in that first playoff game. Yeah. I think you're going to see a better version of Trevor Lawrence to start the game, and Jacksonville does have a decent defense. So I'm going to say it's close. I'm going to say the Chiefs eke it out though. Here we go. Here's Paul Spencer here. He says Cincinnati 34-32, Chiefs 36-23, NFC tonight Dallas, but next week Eagles 33-29, Cowboys Niners 34-30 over Dallas. Okay. All right, now let's get to the most important one to us. That's Eagles Giants. Diego, I think you already said like 31-10 or something like
31-10, 31-17. I think we get them early. I think our defense puts them away.
Okay, Paul?
I think it's going to be closer than you think. I think it's going to be like 31-27.
34-24.
Okay.
Us.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Eagles,
yeah. I'm going to say 31-20 Eagles. Adam Glenn, thanks for checking us out. He says Bills Chiefs AFC title game. And I'll tell you what, if the Eagles do make the Super Bowl, I want to play anybody but I'll take my chances against the Chiefs, but truthfully, and I don't want to come off as Mr. Hot Take just from dealing with what yesterday was, but I really feel like the Eagles, Buffalo and Cincinnati both have offensive lines that you could exploit, and I love the Eagles matchup versus Buffalo and versus Cincinnati of the Eagles D line against their O lines. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a tough game because it would, because both teams have elite level weapons and elite level quarterbacks. But I think the Eagles D line would dominate the line of scrimmage against both those teams. The Chiefs have a really good offensive line. So if we do get there, I'm hoping we play either Cincinnati or Buffalo. So, all right. Well, that's obviously, I mean, hey, let's keep it real, man. We could talk football like all day. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get into we got a red hot basketball team, so I want to get into them. But before we do, real quick, let me just see something here. Before we do, let me give a shout out to our sponsors here. All right, we got Sherry's Tickets. Anybody out there? Anybody out there, you want to go to a sporting event or a concert or theater, check out www.sherrystickets.com. They're family owned and operated since 1946. Save 10% off using the promo code EOP10. Anybody out there with some legal issues, workers' compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, or criminal law, call our man David R. Cherry, Esquire, 610-565-0300 or www.cherryinjurylaw.com. Here we got Philly sports trips. They have some great trips coming up. There's a Sixers trip to Brooklyn, and of course, next year with the Eagles. Make sure you check those guys out. They do a great job. Here we got Eagles game day live, pregame, halftime, postgame shows. Make sure you check that. Actually, that's the wrong one. My bad. For this week, Edge of Philly Sports is actually doing a remote. They're going to be at Kelly's Corner Bar at 400 Powhatan Avenue in Leicester, PA. So check them out. They'll be doing the game day live there. So they'll be doing pregame, halftime, and postgame shows. So make sure you check them out. And here's the lineup for Edge of Philly Sports. There's something for everybody, as you can see. There's lacrosse shows, there's soccer shows, there's all kinds of stuff. So there's something for everybody out there. So make sure you check us out here. But yeah, so Sixers, man, Sixers. Well, we got two hot teams because the Flyers have been playing well too. But the Sixers, though, two big road wins. I mean, each by 1 point, and James Harden is playing. Well, Joel Embiid's a given, but James Harden is playing some really good basketball, man. What's your guys' impressions of the Sixers run?
The Sixers are playing really good basketball right now. I think we're starting to see Joel Embiid and James Harden really hit their that stride of that two-man game. Yeah. And I still feel like they got a little bit of growth that they can get on the same page with. But I think we're really seeing that two-man game work out, and everyone's figuring out their role. That's one thing with these Sixers teams. They've been different every single year for like the last 5 years. So it's like you got to get into a system and everyone fill their roles for you to be a complete team. Let's hope they can get to that by the playoffs.
True.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on a second. I'll get to that. Paul, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like Harden's been playing great. I mean, he's hitting the threes. He's hitting the long threes. He's dishing the ball. He's playing. Yeah, they're playing on a high level right now. I mean, they made it all the way back up to near like half game out of second place now. So, they're playing really good ball right now.
Yeah, I wanted to get to Maurice's comment, but I didn't want to cover up your face while you're trying to talk. So here we go. And B cannot do it by himself. Harden shouldn't have. Maurice Wright says Harden shouldn't have to either. They have players that need to be accountable and step their game up. Milton, Maxey, and Melton play more of Paul Reed. He gets boards. Montrezl Harrell's playing good.
Yeah, that was a huge pickup.
Yeah, former sixth man. I mean, he's proven dividend. And just the
Mike Laura, the only guy in America that wants to trade Joel Embiid in the league and
enough with that nonsense. Mike. Exactly. What are we going to get for him?
Trade him for who? This is a. I know Mike doesn't agree with me, but this is a possible championship level team. I mean, the Sixers could easily finish 2 seed right behind Boston or the 3 seed. Yeah. And you got Joel Embiid and Harden. First of all, who the hell is stopping those two guys in 2-man games? Who's stopping the two of them?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not right now.
So what's your impressions on how the Sixers been playing?
I agree with both Paul and Diego. And plus Maxey coming off the bench, he's playing more as like a veteran player, He's taking, he's not playing like a second-year guy. He's getting it. I mean, I'm shocked that they won both the Utah and last night's Lakers game by 1. I mean, so far so good. So take it where we can,
Can I ask you a question? What the hell does PJ Tucker do for 24 minutes on the court? Yeah. No rebounds. Like, exactly. 1 rebound, no points. Like, what the fuck does he do?
They were saying that in 94 WIP. It's like he's
doing enough. We're winning.
Sitting on that bench.
He just stands out there. It looks like to me, just like he stands out there.
He's getting cardio. He's getting a workout in. You know what I mean? I gotta go work out.
Adam Glenn, he says the Sixers will lose in the second round and Embiid will get hurt. Well, listen, that's always a possibility, and I know that's Mike's point, and I agree. I mean, hey, can I sit here and say that Joel Embiid won't get hurt? No, he gets hurt. I mean, it seems like he's injured most playoff runs. But my question to Mike is always, well, what the hell are you going to do? I mean, the only way this team has any chance of winning a championship is to cross their fingers, cross their toes, and maybe pray, do a rain dance, whatever the hell you got to do to hope Joel Embiid is healthy, because you're not going to win a championship with the return. The return you get for Joel Embiid will not make you good enough to win a championship. And I don't want to hear draft picks, because what's the point? You got James Harden is ready to win a championship right now. He's 33 years old.
Yeah. If we trade Embiid, Harden's out of here.
What's that?
If we trade Embiid, Harden's out of here.
Oh yeah, because it's the 1-2 punch. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Why would you want to stay?
Right.
And then there's a rebuild pretty much all over again.
Bingo. The process of sex.
So I'm not willing, I know Adam's saying Embiid will get hurt, but if Embiid and Harden are healthy, I'm not willing to say they're losing the second round. In fact, the only team, don't get me wrong, the Nets are really tough. The Bucks are really tough. Cleveland's really tough. But the bottom line is the only team that I look at the East and I go, because they're playing such great basketball, I go, I'm not sure if we're going to beat them, is Boston. And part of that is because for some reason, Al Horford has this bugaboo on Joel Embiid. And that makes me a little nervous. But Boston is the team that I wonder if we could beat the Celtics. But I'm not willing to concede anything. I think that the Sixers are good enough to win the NBA title if they're healthy. In my opinion, I think they are.
And what happened last year.
Yeah.
They got a bad taste in their mouth and Embiid not winning the MVP. Use that as motivation, fire, kick ass, bang the guys in the middle, do what you got to do. And Harden, like you guys said, he's playing lights out. His legs look fresh, so keep it going.
And they're so much deeper than last year. You look at what.
I know you got Maxey off the bench now.
Right. Yeah. Like D'Anthony Melton. I mean, we can rip PJ Tucker till we're blue in the face, because PJ Tucker is out there doing cardio. But the bottom line is, though,
but he's doing something, dude.
Well, no,
we're winning. Our defense is good. He's doing something.
He did hit a three last night.
I hate the move more than anything, because I feel we could have did more with that money.
If he hits that three, we lose.
But PJ Tucker doing something.
Well, Diego, I'm actually on board with you, because I was going to say is that, to be honest with you, I don't really care about I don't necessarily care about what PJ Tucker does in the 82. Mm-hmm. I care about what PJ Tucker's going to do when we're in Game 5. Say we're playing the Brooklyn Nets and it's Game 5. That John's tied 2-2, and there's like 2 minutes left in that game, and PJ Tucker is guarding Kevin Durant, and he's right up in his grill. You know what I mean?
That's what
I care about PJ Tucker in that particular tough game, playing great defense, getting a loose ball, diving on the floor, like doing the little things that'll make you. Yeah. That's the difference between winning and losing. That's why you got PJ Tucker here.
Like I said, I hated the PJ Tucker. I mean, I still do. But I also didn't expect us to still be fighting for that 2 seed with him taking up a spot. You get what I'm saying? With him just playing defense. But if we could be a 2 seed, and then we get to the playoffs with 2 seed, PJ Tucker now plays a big role. He's the one that's going to get up in KD's ass, where you can get away with a little bit more in the playoffs physically. He's going to be in Tatum's ass, he's going to be in KD's ass. So if we can stay in the upper tier of the Eastern Conference, I feel like we haven't seen the most effective PJ Tucker yet.
We haven't. We got a comment here, Muffler Mike Kostiak. What's up, guys?
What's
up, Mike? How you doing? Thanks for checking us out. Maurice Wright says Reed is more productive than Tucker with half the minutes. Yeah, but
he doesn't do what PJ Tucker does. All right. Paul, every time I see Paul Reed come in, all he does is bring energy. sometimes that energy gets lost in him just running up and down the court, not doing anything either. You know what I mean? P.A. Tucker's, he knows exactly what he's doing out there at all times. He's not out there to score. He's out there to get in the best player's ass in the other team, dive on the ball and get loose balls. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I agree with Paul Reed.
Exactly.
Paul Reed's an energy guy.
We got grandson 1673. You're going to stream the game? No, we're just doing the podcast here. But thanks for checking us out, though. Steven Numensky, I don't think in 50 years I can remember back-to-back 1-point road wins. That's true.
Yeah.
What are the odds? And also, you know what, too? Two different ways, too. I mean, Embiid hits the winning shot Saturday night, and then last night they play defense. And what the hell was Russell Westbrook doing? I mean,
Dude.
Why don't they? All right. If you're the Lakers, why don't you call a timeout?
Yeah.
I know.
Get that in your best player's hands, LeBron's.
Yeah. So what? Speaking of that, how fast is LeBron going to get Darvin Ham fired after that? Like I can't imagine LeBron like that. Like LeBron's probably calling Genie Buff right now. It's like, yeah, like he's pulling the Mike Singletary. He's like, can't win with him. Can't win with him.
Apparently, LeBron's bitching today about the non-call. So
really,
yeah.
You know what? Cry me a river. You know what? How
suck it up.
How often do you see when guys drive like that? They always let a lot of shit go. Get the hell out. There's been plenty of times I've seen Sixers players drive the lane at the end of games
we talked about
and get hit and not called.
Yeah.
One is a walking machine sometimes. They don't call it.
Nah, they don't. All right, so let's look at the next. Let's look at the Sixers.
Clippers tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Yeah, Clippers tomorrow. Portland on Thursday. Sacramento, by the way, boy, Sacramento's come out of nowhere. They have a nice team.
Yeah.
Sacramento's playing some good basketball.
Okay.
So here, let me get to this comment real quick. Steven Numersky said, B-ball Paul gets glass, but he gets too many pieces of people's body too at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Glenn needs to put him in when we're getting killed on the glass. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, he's an energy dude.
Yeah.
Paul Spencer here. PJ Tucker will be a playoff defensive presence on the best offensive player. 6 hard physical fouls. Not worried about the regular season. I couldn't agree more, Paul.
And in the NBA, it's more like in the playoffs. You get like them extra fouls. Like I feel like the NBA is conscious. They're letting stuff go in the playoffs because they want the best players on the court the most important time.
Yeah. All right. So. All right. What's our record? The rest of this road trip, Paul. I'll ask you first. We got at the Clippers, at Portland, at the Kings, and then we chill until Wednesday night when Brooklyn comes here. So we'll be on before then. So let's just do the next 3. What's our record these next 3? We're already 2-0 on the road trip. How are we looking on these next 3 games?
I'm gonna say 2-1. I think either Sacramento or Portland will get a W against us. One of those. I think 2-1.
Okay. Wow. Now that's really that means you're going 4-1 on the West Coast trip. I don't know if I can remember a Sixers team going 4-1 on a West Coast trip like that. It's been a long time. Diego, what do you think?
I agree with Paul. 2-1. I don't even know which one of them games we lose. I think we can beat all 3 of those teams that are with our best basketball. I just feel like one of them games we won't play our best basketball, and one of them will beat us. So 2-1 in some kind of order.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Sean, what do you think?
I see 2-1, and I see like the games that Paul and Diego brought. I see Portland kind of beating us because I think Portland just came back and beat the hell out of somebody, and they were losing. So 2-1, Portland will be our loss.
Yeah.
They have a decent home record too. So
I honestly, I hate to be pessimistic because I was just talking about how we're going to win the championship, or we could win the championship. I'm going to say 1-2, because the last game of a long road trip, like that Sacramento game in particular, I could see as chalking up as an L. And tomorrow night, I mean, you never know what you're going to get with the Clippers. That's because the Clippers have so much load management. I mean, I read somewhere that at SGA. Was it Shea Gilchrist Alexander?
Shea Gilgis Alexander.
That's it. Yeah, I always butcher his name. He is such a great player, man. He has more points this year than George and Kawhi Leonard combined.
He's fifth in the league in scoring.
Yeah, he's averaging 34
30 and a half points.
I'll tell you, you talk about a trade that when it was first made, you went and not saying the Clippers aren't a good team. Clippers are a good team. I'm not saying they aren't, but this kid, tell you, Oklahoma City's got a bright ass future, man. If they hit their draft picks, unlike you know how the Sixers screwed up like 90% of their picks.
Yeah.
If OKC drafts well, dude, and I'm not just saying this for last Thursday night when they took it to us here, they got a bright future, man. I mean, OKC
all around,
in a couple years, I mean, and plus they can control the whole draft. I mean, they have more picks than anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got one
Yeah,
more.
but I feel like everybody knows in this league, I feel like you always got to sign veteran players to win championships, and I don't feel like they're ever going to get key players to go there and help them young guys win championships. And by the time the young guys get old, they're ready to leave OKC because they ain't getting no money. You know, they want the big market with all that with all them advertisements and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. Steven Numersky with another comment here. He says, I definitely see the influence of Sam Cassell on Harden for sure, especially with those hesitation head fake elbow jumpers. He doesn't hit them enough, but I'm glad he's working on it. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Paul Spencer, Thunder Holmgren is going to be good. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even played this year. So imagine him, and then, the future's bright for them. But all right, so let's before we get out of here, we don't talk a lot about this team much on our show, but I feel like we kind of have to. What do you think? Philadelphia Flyers improving. Paul, I know you're more of the hockey guy. I mean, we all follow it too, but what's your thoughts on how the Flyers have been playing?
Yeah, I mean, I know they got smoked today, 6-0, and I was at the Toronto Maple Leaf game and where I saw Carter Hart give up some really soft goals.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing well. I mean, I just don't think we're really good enough for even if we do make the playoff. But we're probably about 9 points out of a playoff spot at this point. Even so, I don't see us. But I mean, yeah, it's encouraging that Torts is helping out. TK, having a breakout year. We have some pieces in place, I think, for the future. But it's good to see them move, improving. But I just don't. They're not there yet.
They're playing just enough.
Hard either, though.
They're playing just good enough to screw up a good draft pick.
Yeah.
Your typical John Tortorella team, I feel like he always gets guys to play hard, and if they're not even that good, they'll still find a way to win some games. So now we're in a situation where we're out there; they're 5 or 6 points out of a playoff spot. Now we might as well root for them and try to make the playoffs and maybe get us the series rather than a draft pick because they're going to be middle of the pack draft picking anyway. And hockey picks aren't like you pick 15. That guy's not making an impact in your team if he even ever does for 2-3 years.
Yeah. It's unfortunately it's purgatory. You know what I mean? Let me just show this here. Here's our man Muffler Mike Kostiak. You can check him out. They do a great lacrosse show. For anybody that's going to be down at the at the stadium area, he says start time for the Wings versus Toronto Rock on Saturday has moved up to 1. If you're already going to be in the lot bright and early to tailgate for the Eagles, consider taking in a second game for the day. Tickets to the game cost less than the parking fee. So anybody out there likes lacrosse,
get to that Wings game, guys.
Yep. And then Steven Numersky, he says, I'm okay with today's loss. They need to win that Ducks game. Yeah. I mean, and today, they're playing the Bruins. I mean, the Bruins are
the best.
They have the best start of any team in hockey since like 1929 when it was them. I mean, it's almost 100. I mean, they're like I think they're like 35-5 or something. Like they're unreal. You know what I mean? So I'm not even slightly surprised about today's loss. And they are playing good. And they're
34-5.
Really?
Okay, there you go. And I'm I was wanting the tank. I wanted to break out the Sherman, pull the hanky, and do the tank. I really think the Flyers need top end talent, but it's not going to happen. I've resigned myself to the fact that they're going to be just good enough to not get that top guy unless they somehow lucked out and had like a 1% chance to win the lottery. So at this point, I'm just encouraged to see guys like Owen Tippett playing well. I want to see Allison play well. They got that kid they drafted last year in the juniors. He looks like he might be something. Then you got Konechny is becoming a real force. So, at this point, hey, let these guys develop, get a winning culture, and maybe you can. Yeah. This is the guy right here, Steven, with the comment here.
Good year.
He's tearing it up. So let's let Tortorella establish a culture, and at the trade deadline, maybe you clear somebody that's making some money, you know what I mean, and get some cap space, and incorporate some young guys next year along with a couple decent younger veterans.
Do you think the injury with Cam Atkinson being done for the season kind of hurts or not? It's nothing.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to win, it hurts. Honestly,
now playoff spot right now.
Yeah,
this team would be a lot better if it had the Cam Atkinson and
He's a goal scorer, definitely.
Like a couple of these guys let the Flyers down.
He's out for the season with his back, right?
Yeah.
Well, I read Couturier could possibly come back late February or March, but I don't know how true that is. Steven Numersky's got a comment: trade Provy if he doesn't want to be here. See, I think he does want to be here. I think they might just be ready to move on from him because I think he may need a change of scenery. And I was reading the Penguins might have some interest, although I don't see that.
Penguins, Hextall wants him, but they can't do it because of the cap space. They said, if anything, after in the offseason, but he might not be here offseason.
What about the Detroit Red Wings, Buffalo Sabres?
St. Louis always wanted them too.
Yeah, St. Louis Blues and
Edmonton would make some sense because Edmonton has a couple younger forwards. They have some guy, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he was picked like 4th overall or something in 2016, and he supposedly is an offensive type guy. So, and then they have like a defenseman that's kind of like a number 6 pairing guy. So maybe you trade for that type of package along with a pick, and then we do have Florida's 1st round pick next year. So the Flyers could start adding some young talent to this team. So. All right, let's just look at the Flyers schedule this week before we get out of here. Let's just get a prediction here. So we got all right. So the Flyers host the Ducks tomorrow night. The Ducks blow. Then they host the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks blow, and then they play at Detroit, and Detroit can be over. So hey, you know what?
2-1, just like the Sixers.
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
Is that what you think too, Paul?
Yeah.
I'm going 3-0, baby. Flyers get 6
Stanley
points. Cup. Yo, I'm flyered up, baby. I'm flyered up. You know what I'm saying?
I thought Paul was going to go 3-0.
Forget Bernard. We ain't getting him anyway. So you know what? I'm flyered up, man. Let's go. Let's get some dubs up in here. You know.
Yeah.
Even if you have the first, worst record, doesn't guarantee you the first pick either.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm just saying, but you want to have the
best chance for it.
Yeah, but obviously, yeah.
Here we go. To the point about the young guys, Steven Numersky let Cam York get his growing pains this year. Forrester looks legit too. When is Coots coming back? I think I read like possibly March. So And like you guys said, man, if you had a healthy Couturier and a healthy Atkinson, this probably could be a playoff team.
Yeah.
You stop and think about it. They're not maybe they're not as far off as we were thinking, But all right, so that's our prediction. What did you have? You said 2-1?
2-1 with the guys. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, so we'll be getting much more in the coming weeks. after football season, we'll be getting much more into hockey and basketball and
And
stuff
baseball's
like that.
around the corner too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
pitchers and catchers are coming up. Yeah, so all right, guys. Well, look, man. You know what? It's a big week coming up. Go Flyers, go Sixers, and definitely go Birds. So, and I guess, well, none of us could root for Dallas, right? So we're kind of all go Tom Brady tonight.
Yeah, let's go, Tom.
Yeah, sorry, Paul,
Paul.
sorry, Dave, but go Tom Brady and go Birds. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week, guys.
Peace, guys.